I have a friend who owns a 4 bedroom house. They added the fifth bedroom, and they rent each room to travel nurses. And the overhead cost of that, I know they have to furnish it, and they actually send a maid there every week to clean the common areas and stuff. But he's pretty much doubled his net from the room sharing as opposed to just renting it out to a long-term family. So, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. We always have to adapt. You can't cry about the situation, the laws, COVID comes, whatever the case may be. So what you have to do is pivot. So you just have to look at it at an angle other people necessarily aren't.
Welcome to the Investor Fuel Real Estate Investing Show, where I interview the nation's top real estate entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and other amazing entrepreneurs to help educate and inspire you to take your business and your life to the next level. My goal is to add tremendous value to you during every single episode of this show. If you get value, I'd love it if you subscribe on your favorite podcast player, subscribe on YouTube, and my very favorite, please share this with your community so we can impact even more entrepreneurs. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Harley Robbins, a real estate investor and agent who's been crushing it in the market. Harley, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Harley, let's dive in. For our audience who may not know you yet, give us the rundown. How did you get started in real estate and investing?
Well, real estate was something I've always been interested in. I got my first house at 22 years old. It was just always a goal. But I actually started out in law enforcement. I worked for the California Department of Corrections for about 16 years. That's where I kind of started. I started there at about 21 years old. However, my younger brother, he's a little less than 2 years younger than me. He started in real estate, but on the title side. He works for a title and escrow company. So us being close in age, I was always real estate adjacent. A lot of my mutual friends were lenders, agents, investors, even though I was in the law enforcement side. About 11 years ago is when I actually got licensed. And the reason I got licensed as a residential real estate agent is because I started to become active in investing and stuff. So yeah, that's my journey. I started getting interested in investing, became a residential agent because I was in it so much. And I left the prison January 2nd of 2020. So I've been full-time investor, real estate entrepreneur for 5.5 years now.
Awesome. And what's your main focus these days? Are there any particular markets you're zeroing in on?
Well, as an entrepreneur investor, just the name of the game is acquire assets. If you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's acquire assets. The asset I'm obviously most comfortable with is real estate. So I always try to acquire properties and put them on the passive side as far as cash flow. The market has definitely changed. Uh, Before, if you go pre-COVID or not even before that, you could typically put down your down payment on a property and cash flow right away. Things are kind of tight with the rate and the market. A lot of properties from the outside, it doesn't make sense. So some people are getting out of real estate, but in my opinion, all you have to do is pivot. Okay. I live in California. I'm east of San Diego in the Imperial Valley, but California in general, from the outside on investing, California has a bad name because they're not as landlord friendly. I have friends that invest in other states, and They stay away from California, and it's definitely a con dealing with tenants here sometimes.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But one of the pros California has is they made it a lot easier to build an ADU. And for those of you who don't know, an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. So it's an addition to the house or a detached studio. They have different names. Some people call them casitas, granny flats, junior ADU, but for all intents and purposes, just the buildings of the ADUs in California, they've eased up a lot on the policies and the process for it, like a lot. And so now our focus in California, we're playing the hand we're dealt. So the hot thing in California right now is building ADUs or acquiring properties where you can build an ADU. And me as an investor, I have a respectable portfolio. It's not the best, but now instead of acquiring more, I'm backtracking. Hey, what can I add? Where in my portfolio can I add an ADU? How can I maximize what I already have? That's what's super hot in the market right now. That's what's making sense. And also, instead of buying a property and just renting it out long term, the what we're looking at now is room sharing. So housing costs in California are exorbitant. We all know that. And the rents are exorbitant as well. Another way, I haven't done it personally, but another way investors are doing it is buying a house. Instead of renting out the house, they're renting out each room. So for instance, I have a friend who owns a 4-bedroom house. They added the 5th bedroom and they rent each room to travel nurses. And the overhead cost of that, I know they have to furnish it and they actually send a maid there every week to clean the common areas and stuff, but he's pretty much doubled his net from the room sharing as opposed to just renting it out to a long-term family. So, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. We always have to adapt. You can't cry about the situation, the laws, COVID comes, whatever the case may be. So what you have to do is pivot. So you just have to look at it at an angle other people necessarily aren't. So in my personal bubble, neck of the woods, right now, I'm looking at ADUs and I'm looking at houses I can room share on. That's where our pivot is, as opposed to buying, even flipping or just long-term renting to maximize your money you're investing.
Speaking of pivoting, Harley, have you ever had a deal that went sideways, one that really tested your grit? Can you share one of those moments and how you navigated that?
Oh, wow. I've had some crazy ones, and I always joke because I used to work in a prison. I mean, it's a dangerous place. I saw some stuff, but I always joke because of the stuff I've seen on the real estate side. So I should have stayed in prison where it was safe. But I've had I mean, obviously the divorces. I do a lot of divorces. Those can get really testy. I got bit by a dog for the first time recently. I got bit by a pit bull. So just yeah, I've actually, you know, in this process, I've actually got hurt more and been in more danger than actually being in a prison. It's kind of ironic. It's a funny story to tell.
Those stories, I'm assuming that's on the end of being an agent. What about on the end of investing?
And you know what, on the investing side, are you talking about danger as far as like danger or just like a deal went south, like money danger or physical danger? What are we looking at?
Probably more related to money or,
Yeah.
just if you're doing like a renovation. Probably
Yeah.
not a dog bite.
Yeah. Um, right now, what we're looking for, I'm a little reluctant personally. I know I have some friends and partners who are still active flipping. I'm a little hesitant flipping right now in my area because what I'm seeing as a residential agent, we don't have a market collapse, but prices are softening.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
We're doing a lot of price corrections. It's kind of like imagine staircasing, but we're going down. We're dropping price, a couple months dropping price. I'm reluctant to get into a project to fix and flip unless my margins are super high. Because if your project takes an extra 3 months, 6 months, it could eat up profit. Before, when we were fixing and flipping, if a project took an extra 3 months, 6 months, you're actually appreciating more. So that's something I'm real reluctant. I will still do a flip, but it has to be the risk factor has to be down. There can't be a bunch of construction, and the margins have to make sense. I'm gonna reevaluate. I think we're definitely gonna see an interest rate cut. We're eventually gonna get it. It could be tomorrow, but definitely in 2026, they're gonna have to cut interest rates. That's gonna stabilize the housing market just on the price side. It's gonna give a lot more buyers buying power, and that's gonna make the flips more safe. So I can adjust my margins right there. But yeah, right now, probably the rest of this calendar year, I'm really looking at those projects like they have to be quick with a big margin as far as fix and flip. So
Yeah. Going back to those ADUs, we have a lot of listeners who are new to real estate and investing. Do you have any tips on how to maximize that ADU?
well, number one, there has to be space on the property. Like I have a couple properties, there's no room to build, so they're kind of out. But you can build in California. You can build an ADU attached, so that's attached to the main dwelling of the house, and you could build a junior ADU and I think a detached ADU. I think you build like three dwellings, and like I said, it all depends on the space. But a hack I've heard a contractor doing recently, he builds the attached ADU with a garage. So the garage is for the attached ADU. And as soon as it gets built, he goes in and, hey, we're going to convert the garage to another unit. So there's a lot of like loopholes you can do to just maximize the units for the one APN, the one parcel of property. But even adding just the one, just the two, that's your cash flow right there. That makes that deal that didn't make sense make sense. And also you're getting your ROI on an ADU. It's less than 5 years. So whatever the cost is to build it, you're getting paid that back in rent in 5 years or less typically. The ADU costs, they vary by county. So, San Diego County, LA County, the counties in Northern California, your build cost is going to be different. And the price of the ADU and the property after the build is going to vary as well. But what I'm seeing is whatever you put up to build that ADU, for instance, if you pay $100,000 to build that addition to your ADU, to the existing structure, with as high as the rents are in California, you're paying yourself back in 4 to 5 years. So year four and a half on, all that rent is profit. So that's just a lot safer bet than putting 25% down. You're not cash flowing as much. So that's just buying a separate property. So the ADU is just putting us over uh, getting that cash flow to actually make the deal make sense, and it's way better return on investment, the money you're putting on. Just the hard part is you have to acquire the property with the space to build, or if you have those existing properties. So that's where it's at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Our listeners who are newer are also trying to network, build relationships. What for you has helped kind of move the needle as far as that goes?
Well, every January, I've been investing probably 20 years, but I've been a real estate agent for 11. But every January, I reevaluate my business. I reevaluate my goals. How did I do? What do I have to change? New Year's Eve's coming. We all do it, but I'm really particular about evaluating my business, trying to be objective.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So this past year, I had to take a hard look and sit and look at my business. I said, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? And everybody knows their strengths, right? Like I know my strengths. I'm good at talking to people. I connect with people. People trust me, which they should. I'm a man of my word. I'm also very creative. If a deal gets kind of weird or we have to think outside of the box to make stuff happen, I'm very good at that. I also have a long list of just contractors, contacts, people that can do work. But that's the easy part, right? The easy part is I do this good or I do that good. But I had to take a hard look. What are my weaknesses? So I can say, objectively, my weakness was social media. I didn't really have an online presence. I just wasn't as good on social media as other investors or even real estate agents. So that's something I had to attack. I actually joined a team. I joined EXP where the team helped me and compliments me on help me with that. And then also just networking with people. In the past, when you go to school, they teach you, hey, when you take a test, no cheating. Don't ask your friends, your partners for anything. You take that test and you have to pass it. So I think the education system kind of molds us, a certain way. But in the investing world, it's definitely a team sport. If I have a test problem and, problem number 7 is giving me problems, I bring in friends now. Right? That's the power of networking. We all have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, and just collaborating in general. And that's why I was uh, I was very pleased to be part of this podcast and talk to you and connect and talk to whoever's listening. But if you're an entrepreneur right now, definitely team up, definitely collaborate. Just one relationship can change everything, can change your whole course of investing. But I made that decision in January. And along the way, I just made good friends. I mean, if I don't invest with them, I made some real good buddies. Just were like-minded people. But I definitely have a team now, and I'm not as reluctant to partner up on a deal. It's better to have partners on a deal. They share responsibility, they share ideas, they share the financing part, as opposed to going on your own, get stressed out. Oh, this is going sideways. You have nobody to lean on, nobody to call. Don't try to be the tough guy and just do everything yourself. So that's been my strength this year, and it's just opened a lot of doors and really compounded just my investing opportunities, knowledge, access to income, everything. This year has been a big year for me, 2025. That was a key part of it, networking.
Awesome. Harley, you had mentioned being a part of EXP. How has being a part of them shaped your approach to real estate as an agent and then also with your investments?
It really comes back down to networking. So when I started, I had a really good mentor. So my first broker, I was his first hire. So he really took me under his wing. We had a small office. At that time, it was the right place for me because I had that one-on-one mentorship training as far as doing the deals, doing the business, all that. There was some office politics I didn't like, so I ended up going on my own, and I was with Big Block Realty, which they're a brokerage, but they basically let you do your own thing. They're there for support. But I was successful on my own, but I after being on my own for a while, I missed some of the aspects on being a team. So I reached out to some friends at EXP, and like I said, the team I'm on and the resources I have, they complement my weaknesses, and what I do like about it too is the strengths I do have, I can help other EXP agents. But definitely that brokerage is good. Just the revenue share, they give you actual support. Some brokerages have, a 30-minute mastermind. You log in, it's the same thing. Wake up, take a cold shower, and go get them. Call the leads. EXP actually gives you stuff you can sink your teeth into as far as tactics for the real estate market, in addition to the mindset stuff. So there's just it's opened a lot of doors as well. But I feel that I'm fortunate to bring in my strengths to help those other agents that are helping me. But like it all comes back down to networking. But EXP has opened a lot of doors. But like I said, I think it started just with that January promise to myself to, hey, network, team up. So it's just blossomed from there. So
That's great. Speaking of opening doors, what do you see next on the horizon? What big goal are you chasing?
currently my portfolio consists of it's residential. I have all two bedroom, one bath. They're duplexes, threeplexes. I have a fourplex. My next big goal is to get probably into assisted living. That's a big jump though. You don't just go, something residential real estate's not basic, but I feel I've mastered it. That's probably my next goal is open an assisted living facility or maybe go a real big apartment complex. But that's something, like I said, I'm adjacent to. I'm looking at it and just getting ready to make that jump. Or I was even looking at an RV park.
Those seem pretty different from each other. What has caught your eye about each of those?
The assisted living, it is, but it isn't. You're still a property owner. You still have your overhead with the property. It's just a matter of adding that element of staff. Um, the thing that really excites me about it is we have a lot of baby boomers who there's people retiring every day. There's people retiring every day. And for example, there's people in their 60s who are retired and they have parents in their 80s, parents in their 90s. And these facilities, um, it's somewhere where somebody can take care of mom and dad, but I can go visit them, see them, and I can enjoy my retirement. And also, it's not just for the elderly. There's children with disabilities. There's adult children with autism, with Down syndrome, special needs, stuff like that. Which I learned because my wife works with special needs children. So there's these children. Their parents have been taking care of them all their childhood, but now the parents are getting older. They're retired, but their children who need that needs they're adults now. So it's assisted living. It's somewhere where their basic needs are met, their housing. They can still go visit them. They can take them from the facility, but it's that day in, day out care, it makes it easier. But as far as the population turning older, there's people hitting that retirement age every day. There's people hitting that elderly age every day. So the demographic is there to make some money with the assisted living. But what I like is you can buy a nice piece of real estate, make it assisted living friendly as far as adding extra rooms, adding ramps and stuff like that for disability. And you can run that assisted living business. And then later on, if you build it, you can keep the cash flow. You can sell the assisted living business, or later on, if you dissolve that business somehow, relocate it, you can sell that building. Imagine buying a real nice house, running a business out of it for 10 years, 15 years, then just selling just the appreciation on the house, convert it back and sell that business on the side. So it just opens up a lot more opportunities as far as that, but it just adds that business element. Not only do you have to know real estate, appreciation, overhead, running it like that, you also have to learn the aspects of the business. That's what I'm currently learning about right now.
Yeah, awesome. That was really interesting and eye-opening. Harley, before we let you go, if someone wants to connect with you, maybe talk about deals, learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Best way would be just hit me on my email. I check my email every day. My email is Harley_Robbins at Yahoo. So it's HARLEY_ROBBINS at yahoo.com. And I love to talk. I talk too much. Sometimes I got to pull the reins on it because once I get going, especially about something I'm really interested in, like real estate, like investing, I get excited and I talk a lot. So I love talking to people. I've been talking to and mentoring a lot of young people, and I tell them, look, there's no stupid questions. Ask. Let's talk about it. And I love pushing people, getting them that first jump into investing. I love people when they call, and I have friends too. They'll call me and pick my brain. Hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you see from your point of view? And they call me, and sometimes on the reciprocal end, I call them. Hey, I'm thinking about adding an ADU, but then I can sell this. Whatever the case may be, and just having that entrepreneur set of eyes give you that second opinion, because not everybody's an entrepreneur. Not everybody has that I guess mindset for it. So it's good to connect, like I said. But yeah, give me an email. It doesn't matter if you're a novice or a seasoned investor. I can help. We can put our heads together. Or I can just kind of introduce you to the process. It doesn't matter your experience level, but definitely email would be the best way to reach me.
Awesome. Harley, you picked the perfect place to talk a lot. I love hearing your passion about real estate. You gave our listeners lots of great advice and things to think about today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For everyone tuning in, if you love this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations like this one with heavy hitters like Harley Robbins who are building impressive real estate empires. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.